3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, everybody.
As promised, we're back with another Sunday video.
Is that 2 weeks in a row?
2 weeks in a row, Pa.
We're on a
and
roll.
You know what? I gotta say,
What are you going to say?
I think we have enough questions where we can actually have a third week in a row.
Wow.
Like we can record it soon. So, guys, if you want your comments or your questions to be answered, you have any thought-provoking questions, leave them in the comment section below on this video, and you should be able to make it into next week's video. Actually, next week's video might be full, so it might be the week after. But your your question will make it. So just leave it in the comments below. Hello. Thank you guys for joining us again. We have another awesome show here, or hopefully it's awesome. I hope you guys think it's awesome. But we'll start here with Siva Jobs 2919. Okay?
Siva, what's going on, Siva?
So Siva Jobs says, Sunday question. From your experience, how much will it cost to rewire for a 1957 built house? There are no other details. So,
Hi, Siva. So, keep in mind, look, I'll give you an approximation from my experience, but you really should contact a contractor to properly quote. There's changing wiring, replacing wiring to modern copper. You could be replacing knob and tube. You could be replacing aluminum. And I'm not specifically talking about the year when you say 1957. I don't think there's going to be much difference between 1957 and 1967.
$10,000 per year.
$10,000 per year, maybe. But here's the thing. So let's just go with a 2-story home, approximately 2,000 square feet. It's going to cost you approximately, to rewire the home, approximately $13,000 to $15,000. That's the wiring part. That includes permits, and that includes a new electrical panel. Now, if there's any electrical contractors listen to this, please comment below. Let me know how accurate I am, or please jump in. I'm telling you, I'm not a contractor, but I'm just going by experiences, our clients that have done these things. So 13 to 15,000 includes permits, includes panel. What you really, really got to pay attention to, though, is the finishing after. For example, if you've got a popcorn ceiling and to rewire, you got to punch a few holes into the popcorn ceiling, you're not patching up the popcorn ceiling. You'll never patch it up 100%. You're going to smoothen the whole ceiling in most cases. So that's an extra cost. What types of finishes does the house have already that you're going to have to damage? Is it lath and plaster walls, or are they dry? Is it drywall? One is much easier to patch up than the other. So all these, it's the finishing you really got to pay attention to, because most electricians, they're going to do the electrical work, and then you're stuck with patching everything up afterwards. And you may not be able to properly patch it, so it's an invisible job that was done. You may have to do a whole bunch of other work to kind of clean things up so it looks like a finished product.
Yeah. So that 13 to 15,000 was quotes that our client had received on a house that they were looking at doing that too.
Yeah.
But that again did not include any of that finishing stuff.
Correct.
Right.
Excuse me.
So yes. Okay. So next comment here comes from Augusto da Silva.
Hello, Augusto.
And Augusto says, I'm wondering if the Lux real estate market is also affected negatively as the non-Lux. Is it why there are no shortage of buyers of these types of homes?
Well, there is a shortage of buyers for these types of homes.
I was going to say.
The buyers are different. It's not the same buyer, right?
Well, I was going to say, because like if when we do the charts, we've done the percentage of properties that sell over $2 million versus the amount of listings, active listings that were available at the time. And like that number for a lot of areas is actually lower than the number of condos that are selling. And we know condos are in a really tough space right now.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, there are, it says here there's no shortage of buyers to these types of homes, but there are hundreds of these listed, and there are hundreds of homes over $2 million listed with very little sales each week. So
Right.
I think there are a shortage of buyers, but it also depends on what you consider luxe, right? There are people that consider, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million homes luxury. But then there are people that consider, $7, $8, $9, $10 million luxury, right? And I think,
But
would you be willing to say that the 2, 3, and maybe just into the $4 million range is being affected by the ability or the inability of people to sell their $1 to $2 million homes to upgrade to those ones?
many times, yeah. I mean, when you're getting, like, when the average prices, depending on which part of the GTA you're talking about, when the average prices of a detached is 1.6 to 2 million, again, depending on which part of the GTA you're talking about, if that's the average price for a detached, well, there's people selling those and moving up to the 2 to 3 million range, for example. It's the difficulty in selling theirs to move up. But here's what I said earlier. It's a different mentality for a buyer. It's a whole different situation. When you start getting into the 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 million, it's like a whole different world. Those buyers that are buying $5, $6 million, and there's not lots of them selling. See, that's the thing. There could be, say,
like in the city of Toronto. Sorry to cut you off. In the city of Toronto, there's usually one $5 million sale each week.
Yeah, one or two.
Right?
Yeah. There might be one or two, $7, $8 million. And we talk about it, and it's like, wow, holy smokes, who's buying these houses? Well, in a population of millions, it's one or two or three a week that are buying these houses at that range, 5, 6, 7, 10 million. But that kind of buyer is not the kind of buyer that's going to open houses on a weekend. That kind of buyer is buying a lifestyle. They're buying a specific situation. And when we've marketed properties and listed properties in that space, say, it's not about, it's 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, just put it on the MLS and these buyers will be updated. It's there's a specific situation to that property. Now, it could be an awesome address. It could be the history of that property. Somebody else lived there before. It could be how the property is designed, like a resort. It's got a bowling alley. It's like there's a certain lifestyle that person is buying, and they're not hoping and praying they get approved for a mortgage. Like, this is a different type of buyer.
Yeah.
And how that property is marketed will make a difference.
And so, going into, this actually leads into the next question. Well, so Chorn74 says, I found a listing, and there's an address here. I'm going to blur out the address because we don't like putting up addresses here. But I found a listing in Toronto. It's in Rosedale. Looks like it was listed in May 2024 for $21 million.
Rosedale, one of the low end areas.
The starter detached homes.
Starter neighborhood. I wonder how many open houses are happening there this weekend.
So looks like it was listed in May 2024 for $21 million, but then they did several price reductions leading up to today's reduction to $14 million. So
what a bargain.
And $7 million lower, or 33%. Do you think they asked too much in the first place? Be interesting to see what you think. Cheers.
I mean, if we look at it just the way you're saying it, face value, they started at 21, it didn't sell, and now they're at 14. So kind of seems that they asked too much in the first place. If we just look at it from that point of view, I'm looking at it from a different point of view. I'm looking at it like, what would make them believe 21 million was a number that even made sense to begin with? And here's where I started talking about it earlier in the previous question. The marketing is very, very different. Marketing a property like this versus marketing your, we'll call it, typical home. For example, if a home sells, say, for $10 million, and right next door, another home, and let's just say it's identical, goes on the market, you would expect it to sell for $10 million. But if that home now that's for sale was, say, Tom Cruise's home, would somebody pay more? Would somebody pay more?
Depends if they like Tom Cruise.
It depends if they like Tom Cruise.
know,
but that's just my point. It's finding the right buyer that sees the value and the bragging rights to say, hey, I just bought Tom Cruise's home.
Yeah.
And they'll pay more.
I think
Is it 2 million more? Is it 5 million more?
I think mom would pay the premium.
Yeah, my wife will pay the premium.
But no, it's interesting. It's an interesting question because I remember there was one.
Sorry. Yeah. Now I'm cutting you off. Now.
Okay, no problem.
So the reason I'm bringing up that Tom Cruise example is, what is it about that house that caused them to think that 21 million made sense? And maybe there is something there, and maybe it was marketed the wrong way. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't pushed properly, marketed properly. This is a whole different caliber of buyer that you're going after. And many times the buyer that buys this type of home isn't necessarily shopping for a home. Yeah. But this comes up. I'm going to use a word that's going to upset a lot of you. Sees the opportunity. I know, 21 million. What's the opportunity? But sees the opportunity, and hey, I could buy a home that Marilyn Monroe used to live in. They'll pay extra. Or I could buy a property on a street where a home never comes up, and, Drake lives one block away, and just they'll pay extra. People will pay extra for the neighborhood, for the features. And I don't mean, features like every bedroom has a bathroom. I mean, maybe there's a ballroom in the house. Maybe it's a certain lifestyle. Yeah. People will pay extra for that.
There was one listing I remember that had in the description, the first line was, do you want to be Drake's neighbor?
There you go.
It was a bridal path listing, but
there you go.
I don't think anyone wanted to be Drake's neighbor because it didn't sell, from what I understand. But one of the craziest things is that days on market for most properties, let's say the average is 25 to 30. Yeah. So the average is 25 to 30. For a lot of the, we're talking like 5 to 7 million plus homes
that sell. There's not many that sell, but the ones that actually sell, I know what you're getting at.
The days on market's usually 1 to 5.
Yeah.
So it's on the market, someone knows they want it right away, sold. So it's very interesting to see. But yeah, different ball game there. Speaking of ball game, the Jays, right? How about them Jays?
How about them Jays?
Okay, so back to our show.
How about them Leafs?
Yes, the first.
We won the opener. We're going all the way.
First win. This is our year.
Why didn't I wear my Leafs hat? I'm going to wear it the next video.
Okay, so next comment here. Sorry, we're going off topic here. Next comment here comes from David Lewis.
Hello, David.
And David says, is there a 2+1 bed stats?
Of course there is. Where do we find that?
Yeah. So if you look at the breakdown we do for condos, we have it broken down, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, but the 2 bedrooms do include 2+1.
So it's all 1 bedrooms, all 2 bedrooms.
So next comment here. This is a question. I like these kinds of questions because I feel like we don't talk about ourselves personally that often. And so this is
what's the question? You're making me nervous here. What
Jesse
is it they want to know?
Q94 asks,
Jesse Q,
what's your origin story? Why did you both get into real estate? And if you cannot do real estate, what line of work would you do?
What line of work would I do?
First question.
Okay, well, let me give
Origin
you the
story.
okay. Let me answer the first question. My origin story.
So
How far back we going?
I'll start in
First, the
1966.
Earth cooled, then the dinosaurs died. How far back are we going? It all started in 1966 when I was born. And I used to walk to school uphill both ways.
Okay, fast forward a bit.
Okay, we'll go fast forward. Most of my working career, I've been a consultant in the sales and marketing field. This has caused me to work in many different parts of the world. I spent 10 or 11 years working in Africa. Yes, you heard that correctly. I said Africa. I spent a few years working in the US. Eventually, I wanted to settle down and I was born here in the Toronto area and came back and settled down. But still, background, sales and marketing, consulting. And my wife, who was the first one in our family to get her real estate license, this was going back to like
25 years.
25 years or so.
I think she just got an award for being 25 years.
She got an award for that?
I think so.
I should know, right?
That's right.
So she got, she's been a realtor for about 25 years and I'd help her out. I'd get involved, but not in any serious capacity. She was doing her thing in real estate and I was doing my thing with my consultancy business. And one of the last, contracts that I had, I was a recruiter with Remax. Remax hired me to recruit realtors and get involved with the sales and the training, which I did for a little while. And that's when I really started to see behind the scenes. You know, I really started to understand real estate a lot more. I was paying a lot more attention. And that's when I decided to take my wife up on her offer of us working together. So we set up our family business. And we're going back now 14 years ago that I started as a realtor and things have grown from there. And that's the story I'm sticking with.
And so
that's the truth, though.
That's going to make my story sound very boring.
What's your story, son? If I don't know.
When I was in university, I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do, but I was working pretty much full time throughout school.
Is that what you call it? Working?
Yeah. I was working at a real estate law firm and I was one of the law clerks there. And I did that for, I think, 5 years. And then there came a time where you basically wanted to take someone on and
like in a fight?
Yeah. And so I submitted my resume and hoped for the best.
We scrutinized that one. I checked references, everything.
4 interviews with this guy. No, but yeah, my dad needed some help, and he wanted to kind of grow, and so I left what I was doing and I joined him, and we've been together for what, 6 years now? I think 6 years.
Working together. We've been together a lot longer than that.
Yeah. Working together.
We've
been together for 6 years. Yeah, because 2019, I think it was. Or no, it was 2018. 7 years. Jeez.
Yeah. Holy.
Yeah, so 7 years we've been working together. And okay, so next question.
I want to add to this.
Yes.
So my background and your background, what does it bring to the table? I can tell you, and I know the answer to both. My background and working in many different parts of the world, my ability to adapt to situation is enhanced, and my ability to communicate with people from all sorts of life, because I had to do that for a living every day. And you, especially with your background in you were running that office, basically.
Yeah.
The attention to detail and what you bring to the table when it comes to that really helps us out in our business. But what you actually spend a lot of your time, most of your time, the the marketing side of our business, and it's one of the reasons you left what you were doing is because there was no real creativity in what you were doing. And here you're able to just, be very creative and
expand my wings.
You expand your wings. And the reason we scrutinized over and over your application before your mother and I accepted you in our business.
Mom was willing to accept me pretty quick. You were the problem.
I was the hard ass on that one. It's because when I used to take you to work when you were a kid, and I'd bring you to my office.
Going there.
On Saturdays, I'd bring you to my office. You'd walk in, and before we got there, I had to buy you McDonald's for breakfast. And I'm saying, okay, I'm going to buy you breakfast, but we got a big day of work. I expect you to help me. I expect you to work. I expect you to maybe assist one of the other people in the office. Like I wanted him. He was a little guy, but I wanted him to do something. No, he'd come in. In my office, he'd have his breakfast, and then his eyes would get all puffy because he was all full now. And he'd put 2 chairs. I'd step out working, talking to people. I'd come back into my office. This scoundrel had 2 chairs put together, created a bed, sound asleep. And then, so then
it was
my wife,
Saturday, right?
Later on, hours later, my wife would call,
oh my God.
Hey, how are things going with Danny? And before I could start complaining about him, he'd jump on. This is, he's already had a few hours of sleep. Jump on the call. Oh, Mom, I'm working so hard. So that's why I scrutinized his application over and over again.
For some context, I was 10. All right. So I was very young, all right? But yeah, so yeah, it's...
I'm 10 years old, I was packing boulders with a sledgehammer.
We actually have some very funny stories about me working with you.
Working, not working, let's call it.
Stories for another time.
But one time I was delivering...
Oh, no. We'll get into it. We'll get into it another time. We don't have time for this right now. But... Okay, so the next part of the question was, if you could not do real estate, what line of work would you do?
Gigolo? No.
You'd be a stay-at-home dad?
Oh, I would easily be a stay-at-home dad. Easily. No,
you know what you would do?
What would I do?
I could tell you what
I'd want to come back as a dog. I know
knowing the reach of YouTube, I think you would start a YouTube cigar channel. And
that's
review
like
cigars.
A dream.
I think that would YouTube cigars on a boat. On a boat. That's what you would do.
Reviewing cigars. Why can't we do that now? Oh yeah,
I know.
We need tons of money to do that.
We need a boat.
We need a boat, and we need a lot of free time.
Yeah. So that's
I forgot those 2 simple things.
Yeah. What line of work would I do? Oh,
wait, it's easy. You'd be filming me.
Yeah, that's right.
You'd be filming me on the boat.
Oh, this has gotten very personal. But you know what? There was actually a comment in one of our previous videos where someone had said, so the line of work I would do, I really like crime and like gangs and all that stuff. So I feel like I would be
a gang member?
No, I would be feel like I'd be like an investigative journalist into something like that.
An investigative.
I don't know.
Journalist.
I think that's really cool. Like,
that have anything to do with our Sicilian background?
Yeah, no. You know the guys that do the documentaries on like the gangs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I feel like that's really cool.
That'd be interesting.
But yes, so I was gonna say there was someone that commented and said, I love the fact that father and son spend time together, and it's really nice to see. And someone commented underneath that and said, if it wasn't for the money and them working together, they wouldn't be doing this. And I have to say that you guys don't get to see that we spend a ridiculous amount of time together without making money. Okay. He just came over to my place for the Leafs home opener.
After spending the day together.
Yeah, after spending the day together.
Working.
He comes over. We spend a lot of time together. We are very, very, very close. Very lucky to have the relationship that we do. And so it's not really. I
spend a lot of time with my daughter, your sister also.
I feel like you spend the mornings with her and then the evenings with me. because she's a very early bird. That's an understatement.
I'm pretty lucky there.
But
money is secondary.
Yeah.
And, I know real estate, a lot of people make it about money. Look, we got to make a living, and I believe everybody wants to make as much money as they can legally. But I just find it's have fun, make money. It's not make money, then you'll have fun. If you're waiting to have fun only after you make money, you never really will reach your potential. But if you do things that you enjoy and genuinely feel good about what you're doing, the money will come.
Yeah. Yeah. We feel very lucky to be able to do this and work together. And if I did get my investigative journalism into gangs, he would be the one filming instead. So
I wouldn't mind.
Okay, let's get back to real estate. Okay, so AESONB7F says, "Hi Santo, can you do MOI for those thresholds that you set as well? For example, in this episode, you could do MOI for 2 million plus. It seems the upper extremes are slowest for price discovery, despite being the most expensive to carry. I really like when you were comparing year over year MOI. You pen them in a few times in other episodes. I like how it gives a seasonally adjusted take on the market temp. Also curious about price per square foot for detached, but I recognize that square foot listed in for detached homes is very inaccurate."
Lots of things to unpack there. Thank you for the question. I'm going to start backwards and go the other way. So yes, creating a cost per square foot for detached, even if the square footage listed was accurate, it still would make a lot of sense because there's so many variables in, one 2,000 square foot property versus another 2,000 square foot property. So it's really tough to do that for detached, where condos, it's a little bit more consistent when it comes to square footage. The MOI year over year, yeah, sometimes I pen it in just to give a perspective. And we do that from time to time. Glad you appreciate that. The MOI for the 2 million plus, look, if we really wanted to, we could create charts alone for 2 million plus. And maybe that's something we got to talk about a little bit more. We may introduce. A lot of it is just timing. No matter if we give you everything that you're asking for and we put that on there, then the following week, there'll be another question of something else to add. And it's all valuable stuff, and it's all important data to know. We're doing with the time that we have.
Yeah.
We're presenting you the most important stats we feel. And the rest, from time to time, I'll comment and mention about it. But anybody that we are working with, that we're actually active with as far as a seller or a buyer, there's a lot more data we get in with them and their situation.
Yeah. So, okay, next comment here comes from Pedro Brum 1412. And he says, "Hi, gents. I'm a big fan of the Santos and Son videos."
Santos? Pedros? Did you say Santos?
"I really appreciate the knowledge and insights you provide throughout the week. Thank you for that."
Thank you, Pedro.
"I know you don't have a crystal ball, but I would like to hear your personal prediction. Where do you see prices will be 1 year from now for the currently $2 million plus detached market in Mississauga? Thank you."
2 million plus detached in Mississauga. There are on average 2 to 4 properties a week in Mississauga selling at $2 million or more. So there's not many to begin with. There's a lot more listed. Sales are fewer. What you're asking for, though, is for me to kind of predict where the market's going to be in a year. And nobody can do that accurately. Just nobody. And there's lots of people that'll tell you exactly where it's going to be, but nobody really knows for sure.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for me to say. I can say, though, whatever positives or negatives are going to happen in the regular market, whatever positives or negatives we're going to experience in the regular market will be exaggerated a little bit more in we'll call it the more luxury market of Mississauga. So let's just say prices overall are down 5%. You might find that in the lower price point, they're maybe down 3%. And in the higher price points, they're down 7 or 8%.
Mm-hmm.
Vice versa. If prices are up, it's the same thing. You'll see the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. So next comment here comes from Bobby Joe. And Bobby Joe says, so let me get this straight. You have someone view the condos. You don't hear back. No offers for 3 months. Then you show it again, probably relist, and you get an offer. Great. You've got one offer. Looks like the condo is sold. But no, you then go back to all the other people who viewed the condo and tell them there is an offer pending. So you put FOMO into their heads. And hopefully they will outbid the other buyers. And guess what? Santos makes a little extra green. And that is everything that is wrong with the real estate market right there. That is how prices get jacked up. And this is why the real estate market needs to be heavily regulated and infractions added to the penal code.
Bobby Joe?
Bobby Joe.
Bobby Joe. You know, I got to say, Bobby Joe, it bugs me that when somebody is quick to point out that the reason real estate is the way it is strictly because realtors want to make more money. I am not jacking up prices. I am not calling other potential buyers to say, hey, we have an offer. Are you interested? Because I'm looking to make more money. I got to tell you, all that effort that goes into reaching out to everybody is minimal compared to the percentage that I would get on whatever that extra amount is. We get an extra 5 or 10 or 20,000 on a property. It's minimal. It's a few $100. It's minimal. It's the seller, my client, the seller, that all that money goes straight into their pocket. And if you ever sell a home, and I told you that if I was your agent, say, listen, I could call around everybody, try to get an extra 5 or 10,000. Maybe somebody's willing to pay more or not. And we could just accept this offer. I wonder what your response is going to be. If you're going to want me. Now, I'm not saying we're doing anything illegal. I won't do that. But to call around to say, hey, if you're on the fence about this, look, we have an offer. Consider it because the home may be sold. Consider putting in an offer. That's just doing the best for your client. And then there's the buyer's agent who has to be careful about what they're going to be bidding, how far they're going to basically consult their client, the buyer, as to how much they should pay for the home. So what we're doing, what I've explained or what you explained in your story, look, I would expect you would want the same thing. That's what all sellers want.
So next comment here comes from Markdown Deals 5912. And Markdown Deals says, carpool karaoke next?
You don't want me singing.
Yeah, you don't want him singing.
You don't want me singing.
It's so funny. So when I'm with my partner, I usually sing. I like singing.
Your partner?
Yeah, with Sal.
Your fiance?
My fiance, yes. My fiance.
Why are you calling her your partner?
I don't know. I thought that was the most correct way to
This
say
is
it.
your fiance.
I know.
You're getting married.
I know. We just got engaged, so I'm still getting used to the fiance. But
if I called your mother my partner, she'd backhand me.
That's my bad. Getting used to it, all right? I'm getting used to it. We just got engaged.
Better hope she's not watching this.
So when I sing, I really try my hardest, and she says it's good. So I don't know if that's just like a fiance thing or partner thing.
She just loves you. She says it's good. Then she records it, sends it to all us so we could laugh our ass
that's
off.
Right. So, okay, next comment here comes from Jay Mella, 1370. And Jay Mella says, when a sale goes through, it's added to total monthly sales. What happens when the sale falls through on closing? Will the sales count from a few months ago update appropriately? Just curious if these numbers get properly updated on past months. Also, find this key as some people say financial issues are causing a lot of sales to fail on closing. So when it comes to deals that are falling apart, like there are a lot of deals that are falling apart, but I would say that most of that is in the pre-construction space. When it comes to resale, the time between buying and closing is so short that like the window for things to go wrong is just very narrow. And so in most cases, any deal that gets done on the resale side, which is the numbers that we give you, is like there are just not many deals that fall apart, right?
There's not many.
Yeah, and just it's so it's not that common.
There's some, but it's so minimal.
Yeah,
But the stats we're giving you are sales. A buyer
yeah,
and a seller agreed on that day to sell at such and such a price.
yeah,
If the deal falls through, that doesn't change the fact that a buyer and seller have agreed on a price a while back. That's a different issue. And it's so few. No, we don't go back and change the sales data.
yeah. But I have gone back to look, and it's very minimal in terms of what actually changes from the week to week basis from what we report, because we pull everything directly from the MLS. And so based on what we report and based on, some changes that happen, if let's say a property was to fall through and then get relisted and resold, like the changes are just very minimal.
Yeah.
So
and it won't really change the overall average prices. It's so minimal. It's anyways, you won't even notice.
So yes. And this video has gone on pretty long now. So I will end it with a comment from our friend 1AG18. 1AG18 has been commenting on our videos for a very, very long time. And they say, best real estate agent team.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Poppy Joe doesn't think so, but all right.
Thank you so much to everyone that's left a comment on these videos, to anyone that watches these videos. We appreciate it so much. Leave your comments in the description or the comment section below to this video, and it should be featured hopefully next week or the week after. You never know.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Oh yes, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
We are grateful we can do this with you every week.
Exactly. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.